couple others. We bet on the teams. Plus, you know what? If the reality part sucks, you still get to see the world, and that's kind of cool.
Well, let me ask you, will you watch this one coming March the 2nd to the Golf Channel? Being
What?
John Daly.
No.
No?
You know what? I'm sick of John Daly. Aren't you sick of John Daly? Who cares
He
anymore?
lost 115 pounds. I'm just
160,
curious how he did that.
Yeah, well, good for him.
All right, Doc, there's a rousing
By the way, just in a good for him, very proud of you moment.
Yes.
We put this.
That's great.
All right, fellas.
Well, wait a minute.
Hang on, Doc.
We put this poll up this morning just to see where Rockheads heads were. The Bengals 2010, 2011 will be A, better, B, about the same, C, worse. About the same, 43%, worse, 57%. You do the math. How many said they'd be better? 0 so far.
Yeah.
Well, that's the confidence that the people have in the family.
In the organization that speaks to Mike
Yeah,
directly.
Doc, to your point, though, it is every year is dramatically different.
Yep.
I mean, it
It
is. And it's.
I mean, that's just the way it is. There's so many guys in free agents. This year, you got the uncapped year. Nobody knows I don't know what's going on. I don't have my accounting master, so I have no idea what's going to happen. But this was a unique season for them. They captured something that will be very, very hard to duplicate. And for my money, knowing the Brown family the way I do over the years, I would bet that Brakowski stays and Zimmer leaves.
Yeah, and I would bet
Sadly,
this.
you're right.
You don't even have to pass principles of accounting to know in an uncapped year the Bengals won't be spending money.
Probably not.
Doc, we appreciate it, as always.
All right, Gambo.
All right, Paul Doherty from the Inquirer, Cincinnati.com and SI.com. He brings up one point, and he is right about the elite guys. If you didn't have Kurt Warner yesterday for the Cardinals, they don't have a chance. Guys can make that much difference. So can gals. The award-winning 96 Rock Traffic by a half-man, half-woman. Sally, how we looking?
75 South, the Reckitt paddock is finally clear, but it is still pretty much a parking lot. About a 45-minute delay from 275 down. 71 is not a good alternative. It's still slow from before Fields Erdel to basically Red Bank, an extra 35 to 40 minutes there as well. 75 North, an accident just past 123. Only the left lane is open. In Ross, 27 is blocked in both directions by an accident near Ross Millville. Linwood and Observatory, the lights are not working. Linwood is still very slow from Paxton down. Westwood Northern slow, no less than 4 wrecks reported, all at Montana, Beekman, Baltimore, and Fife. If you're on Queen City inbound, just past Sunset, an accident there. It's blocking the right lane and also the turn lane. If you see anything else, Angie is at 241 cars, 241-2277. It's going to be cloudy today. Some snow showers possible this afternoon or evening. Accumulation about an inch possible and a high 29. Tomorrow, flurries. Otherwise, sunny tomorrow and a high 31. Wednesday, mostly clear with a high 37. Right now, it's cloudy and 20.
Sally, what do you do when you get that little thing to fill out and it says gender? Male box, female box. What do you do? Check in the middle?
It's 8:19.
I'm Gamble. He's Finn.
Yeah, good for him.
I'm Sister Karen. It's Shinedown.
On Cincinnati's Pure Rock, 96 Rock.
Anytime, any place at PureRock96.com.
$8:26 on this Monday, coming up in just a matter of minutes. 4-pack of passes, Rockheads, for your chance to join the 96 Rock advanced screening of, this looks pretty good, too, The Book of Eli, starring your personal favorite, Denzel Washington. This Thursday night, AMC Newport on the Levee.
Yep. It's interesting to see Denzel continue to do. I think I saw an ad for the new Travolta flick, too, where he shaved his head.
Yeah.
And he's,
I did. I saw
playing
that,
the older
yes.
badass now. It's because
Yeah.
odd to see these older guys taking these.
Speaking of movies, one I did not ever see at the cinema, but I want to see it now, and it's on. And I you know how you just, I guess I could get out the guide and look when it's actually on next, but I try to catch it. Is the Clint Eastwood, the Gran Torino? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I got the DVD.
I haven't seen it.
Pretty good.
It's really good.
It's
him at his Clintiest.
I stumbled on just about a 5-minute little segment of it, and he had this little conversation with this guy, and basically wound up with a blank U, and it looked like, and I'm big into just Clint being Clint.
Yep, he is.
It looked like I would have thoroughly enjoyed that. So I guess I could just ask you if I could borrow it rather than.
I've got it on my
continue to try.
MacBook if you want to watch it here during the break.
Is that right?
Little bits and pieces.
I don't
got
wanna,
the digital copy from the Blu-ray.
You know what? Here's the thing for me. This is just me. I don't want to watch television on a minuscule screen. I don't mean like on that, but you know how like the stuff on just like I don't want to watch TV on my phone.
Hey, you can watch movies on your iPod. Really, I'm fairly certain that George Lucas didn't create ILM so that you could watch it on a 1-inch diagonal screen.
Right, that's what I mean. I mean, to me, stuff like that. I mean, why would I go out and try to buy the biggest television screen I can, and then I want to watch it on a 2x2?
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. Then nothing makes any sense to me anymore.
Hey, I was telling you a little bit ago about the Who. Obviously, the NFL has not folded to the pressure about keeping Pete Townsend out of the country.
I'm not surprised.
Well, is it any surprise too? CBS has the Super Bowl, right? Am I right?
Yes, that's correct.
That the band that's responsible for the theme songs for all of the CSIs is going to be doing the halftime show.
Really?
Anyway.
Yeah.
But and I mentioned you were talking about Keith Moon was a unit. He was quite the prankster. And I don't know if you remember this one, but Graham Chapman, they were best friends, the guy from Monty Python.
Yeah.
And there was one, I guess famous for lots of pranks and things that they had pulled off, but there was one in particular when that cracked me up. They went into a very high-end male clothing store. Well, one of them did.
Yeah.
I think it was Chapman went in.
Yeah.
And he was asking one of the salespeople who came up, about, he was asking about the strength of the pair of pants. This is right up your alley. And he said, I don't know. He goes, I'm certain that they're very strong and so on and so forth. He goes, well, I need to be 100% sure. And then at that point, Keith Moon walks up as if he's another customer. And he says, well, let me help you test them out. And they grab each leg and they just tear them right in half. Right in front of the salesperson who's horrified, and apparently says, "Now, so who's going to pay for these? Who's going to pay for these? Somebody's going to have to pay." And both of them are like, "Well, he's going to have to." He pulled hard. He pulled harder. He goes, "Well, who am I supposed to sell these to?" And in walks a guy they had hired with one leg, and he walks. He goes, "That's exactly what I was looking for. Wrap them up. I'll take them."
No,
so that kind of stuff, that kind of pre-planned. Yeah, but that's just one of a bunch of stories. That's just Keith. That's how he lived his life.
If you're into the Who and that Who Rock Honors, it's kind of where they did the concert with the modern bands playing some Who stuff. Then they had the Who play at the end, but they also had these bits and pieces stories about the Who. And I love the one scene from where Keith Moon, he's out. He somehow made it out to his drum kit, and he was absolutely obliterated. And they had Pete Townsend trying, I guess, kind of not to laugh, describing, never forget that Keith, and they had all these 4 guys that come and just carry him away.
Yeah.
That's the night he took horse tranquilizers. They had to They had to get a guy from the crowd. They were like, "Does anybody know how to play drums?" So of course you've got this big line of guys that want to play, and they had somebody from the audience finish the show because Keith was backstage basically getting his chest pumped because he was on horse tranquilizers.
When they were trying. They had like 6 guys picking because he just went limp.
Mm-hmm. He fell face forward into his drums. They had to take him off the stage. There's video of that somewhere. I'm sure you can find it online.
Good God. How do you arrive at the point where you're going to take horse tranquilizers?
Because he was nuts and he didn't care.
No, you're right.
Basically, the story goes a fan gave them to him. Was like, here, take these as like a challenge. And he's like, I can take these. I'm blanking.
You know what? No, you are right, and that is true. He was nuts and didn't care.
Right.
That's a very dangerous.
Where's the next rush, or where's the next high coming from, or the next?
And the thought that no matter what you bring to me, I'm okay. I can do that.
Right.
Well, speaking of horses, this story is nearly a week old, but I still want to share it with you because we do have a history of these particular stories. New York man being offered a plea deal, or was last week, after allegedly getting caught having sex with horses. And you're thinking to yourself, Rodell, back in the news. Video surveillance footage last year at Goshen Historic Track allegedly captured 18-year-old Eric Rivera repeatedly abusing the horses. Goshen Village Police say horsemen became suspicious, starting with when they noticed very ugly ponies. No, in July, they had found these standard breds bridled and immobilized in their stalls during morning checks. Rivera was arrested and faced 7 years in state prison on 5 counts each of sexual misconduct with an animal and then also burglary. However, he was offered a plea deal to felony third-degree burglary. Rivera is due back in court.
18. So the horses, they're starting them young now.
What's that? Oh, the 18-year-olds?
I mean, yeah. Oh. That's just brutal. How do you arrive at the 18?
I think your catchphrase for 2010 is going to be, how do you arrive at that point? Because there are going to be so many stories this year of, you've already hit it 3 times. Guy dropping bottles of acid on people.
Can I bring this up, though, Ralph?
That and then this.
Can an ugly woman be worse than a horse?
Well, I see your point.
You know
and
what
couldn't
I
you
mean?
At least drop,
Whatever.
$20 in a back room.
Yes,
Just get the worst sex ever from a woman.
Whatever.
It's still better than the best.
Get
Well,
out, burrow a hole in a wall.
Here's the glory hole. Here's the best. The worst news for this guy is now he's going to find out what it's going to be like to be the horse. Because I have a feeling he'll be immobilized.
I know. Buy paper towels and keep the tube. Whatever, for God's sake.